today. From Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, it's Week 16 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals taking on Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens.
On a chilly December afternoon, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. The enthusiasm of this Cincinnati crowd in full effect a moment ago as their Bengals took the field, to the delight of this sold-out crowd. And they're all set as they'll match up with the Baltimore Ravens. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. And the opening kickoff will not be returned, as that will be a touchback. The Ravens offense set to take over and led by a man still just in his fourth season in the NFL, the 2019 MVP, Lamar Jackson.
Coming off of a loss their last time out, I think he's just seeking to make a bigger impact on the game. He threw a touchdown pass, didn't throw an interception. I think he just wants to jump those numbers up in terms of flinging it around and letting his receivers get into the end zone.
A collegiate star here in the Buckeye State, it's J.K. Dobbins. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. The last run got 9. That leaves him with second and a yard. Jackson on the give to Dobbins. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Option play, and they'll hand to Dobbins. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
Well, every now and then we have to let a cliche fly, partner. And in this case, what do they say in the NFL? Your best ability is often your availability. And this is an extremely durable kid coming out of Ohio State. Carried the ball every time they even thought about running it. Wore down defenses and able to break big runs late in games. J.K. Dobbins going to Baltimore, an absolute perfect fit.
So on 4th down, here's Sam Cook to punt it away. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. It's a 40-yard punt, 4 yards on the return. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Burrow looking to pass. He's going to have the hook up here to Chase. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down. Well, these two teams hooking up for the second time this year. They first met back in October, Week 7. And it was the visiting Bengals who came away with the victory in that one. So they'll look to take the season series now here at home in Cincinnati. Nixon with a first down and more. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot. But what he's going to need here down the stretch this late in the season, he needs that big closing game, that game that we're all going to reflect on and go, oh, my goodness, did he put up a number, let's say 200 plus?
And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at second down. Pretty much unreal, not just in terms of yardage, Charles, but also throw in the 3 touchdowns as well.
When you put the whole package together, I can make you a pretty good guarantee right now. He's going to see a few more people in the box every time he lines up.
Yeah, I don't think that the defense has any choice. They've got to stop him. Can't let a repeat performance like that.
Agreed.
So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
This goes out wide for Mixon. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll make it a 2nd down. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Joe Mixon, a 9-yard touchdown run. And the Bengals are going to take a first-quarter lead. Well, these guys have won 3 straight ball games, and another good start to this one out to the 6-0 lead.
And I've talked with so many different coaches, as have you along the way, and they always talk about winning streaks and the mood of a team and how much easier it is to actually prepare during that time. Guys are sharp, guys are focused, everyone's feeling good, and we're seeing it early in this one.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. The Ravens heading out on offense as we look at the playoff picture in the AFC. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers, because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Jackson with a handoff to Dobbins on the option. And he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line. These two teams met in Cincinnati earlier in the year with the Bengals coming out on top. So a win here in Cincinnati would give them the season sweep 2-zip. From the 41, Jackson. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. I have to imagine many defensive coordinators had a sleepless night trying to game plan ways to slow down Lamar Jackson. What do you think is the most effective way to try to do it?
Well, you've got to be a little counterintuitive, because normally you're sitting on the wide receiver 1, aren't you? But with Lamar Jackson, I'd sit on the tight end. He loves to throw into the middle of the field, loves that position as his #1 target. Take that away and hope you have a corner who can stand up man-to-man against a speed guy on the perimeter.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Now on 2nd and 13. Jackson slings it to Andrews, and it's complete. The tight end has it. And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. Throwing is Jackson. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Larry Ogunjobi has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. So Jackson will head to the Ravens sideline, and on comes Justin Tucker for the field goal try. The wind is at his back here in the second quarter. Tucker's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So that, Charles, a season long right there.
And you know who's really excited about that? The special teams coordinator, because he's the one who has to tell the head coach in pregame, this is where we trust him from. This distance, he can hit it, and he repaid that trust by knocking that one right through.
Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their second drive. And that last touchdown drive, a good mix of pass and run. Defensively, they just looked a little out of whack.
And it's so hard to stay up with an offense that has things going so well, where you're guessing and guessing wrong play after play. So what you need is someone on the defensive side of the ball to make a big play. Throw that balance out of whack. That's what you're looking for now. Not worrying so much about guessing what the play call is.
On second down, here's Mixon. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. 45 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times. All right, I got to ask you, with these RPOs, essentially the quarterback has 3 options, right? So what's different from that versus the triple option that we see the service academies run at the college level?
As a general rule, the triple option at the college level, most things are called outside of the quarterback faking it to the runner and then keeping it himself and maybe having a trail back. What I mean is, in the NFL, that option to throw the football all comes about organically. It's a natural deal based on reads. In college, if you're going to throw the football for triple option, you've actually called that play.
So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 47. A handoff to Mixon. He takes it down to the 42, a 5-yard run.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
And now they will throw it with Burrow. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
Well, to me, there was no question about the intent there, and I think he was a little fortunate that the penalty flag didn't come out for grounding. But he'll get away with it and get another shot on 3rd down.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Open man is Uzomah. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down. They'll try and throw forward with Burrow. He's got a man. It's his tight end. That's complete. And he's taken down inside the 30.
And that's a big pickup of a 1st down. And you know that all week, both sides of the ball, offense and defense, are going through every situation. And in this case, the offensive guys had the right play dialed up because defensively, you work on 4th down situations as well.
And deflating for the defense. They can't get the stop here. 2nd and 10, a very chilly day here, but no snow. And I got to say, if it's going to be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles' face. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
On 2nd and goal, Burrow. That's to Chase. He's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Jamar Chase with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Bengals add on to their lead. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that pushes the lead up to 11. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Now Jackson on first down. They set up the screen for Dobbins. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. So it goes as a completed pass, but they lose a full 5 yards. He gets this underneath to Dobbins. And the stiff arm made it a pretty little run. Not a huge gain, but a nice chunk of yardage. Looking left side for Watkins, and he's got it. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. He'll swing this out to Dobbins. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. 2nd and 8 coming up. Jackson. This is caught. It's Brown. And they will get the first down here as they move into field goal range as well inside the 25. 1st and 10 here. And, you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. He's got his man. It's Andrews. Jackson trying to hustle his unit up quickly to the line of scrimmage. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the right hash, just a 34-yard attempt. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And a 2nd field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Bengals drive about to get going. And with only 9 seconds remaining, with not much time, we'll see how they play this. And he's going to lose yardage, not that it matters, as the final seconds tick away. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. So we've reached an abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. And he will not bring it out. It's a touchback. And the Bengal offense ready to go here to start the 3rd quarter. Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. He'll hand it off here. This is Mixon. Oh, he's got a little daylight.
He's going to make everything happen.
Way in for a Cincinnati score. Joe Mixon, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Bengals come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter. And we didn't even get a chance to settle in for that drive. A quick strike of 75 yards, and they find the end zone.
Don't you get the sense that film study was behind this one, that they saw something that they thought they could take advantage of? The key is calling it in the right situation, knowing when it exists to go to it. They did exactly that. They've got to feel really good about what they did in advance of this game.
Just looking down at the sideline now, their defense is like, man, can you have strung that out just a few plays? Give us a break. Back out there.
Hey, man, get that water break and get on out there and play.
A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. Now those linemen, of course, can't be more than a yard downfield when a pass is thrown, and they might have been able to call that on a couple of guys there. Now it's Jackson. And that's off the mark, incomplete. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
And that is not going to get it done either. Once again, he's stopped behind the line by this Bengals D.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Toward the sideline, did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge, and that's good enough for a first down.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Dobbins going to take the handoff on the option. No dice this go around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
You got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. An option handoff here to Dobbins. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a third and about 7 left.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
On third down, Jackson. Looking right side, and that's complete to Watkins. And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. Tucker's kick is good. And they're hanging around here as the lead's down to 12. So that one is his 3rd of the game. Now, if you're wondering, that's only halfway to his career high, as he once had 6 field goals.
Brandon, but 6? Let's hope we don't get that again, please. Can we see a few touchdowns here and there?
That'd be nice. The Bengals getting set to go. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in, because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
This is caught. It's Boyd. And he is going to have the Bengals 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Burrow will throw. They'll set up the screen here to mix him. Shoves him aside. Gets through, and now an opening. And he will go out right near the 35-yard line. 19 on the last play, 19 more here, and another 1st down.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try to put the hammer down and finish this one off.
So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Here's Burrow. And that's going to be caught. T. Higgins. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10.
That's another beautiful throw right there. Gets it to his man right in stride. And I think that throw kind of exemplifies what we've seen from this offense throughout this game. They've been in rhythm. They've been sharp. They've been on it. And they pick up another 1st down there.
Escaping the pressure right. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Joe Burrow with his 13th touchdown of the year and 2nd of the game. And the Bengals, they widen their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical, that's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely, you also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that will make this a 19-point game. So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play, so we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Brown has the first down and much more as he'll get this one up to the 44-yard line.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
Here a throw taken in by Watkins. 7 yards, the pickup there. You got the big... lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. Only a yard there, sniffed out well defensively, and it brings up third. Jackson, he's going deep for Brown. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And the Bengals will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. Another solid game-changing play for this defense with the interception. At this point, though, I don't know that it's game-changing. I mean, they've got this one in firm control. And you always hear about, you know, those stories about someone left their game plan behind and maybe you benefit from it. I'm not going to say that that happened, but they certainly have appeared on defense to be a step ahead this entire game. Guys are always in the right spot in order to make a play. The offense has had its moments, too. And it is incomplete. Good positioning there downfield to break that one up. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late? Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield. 144 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game. Again, it's Mixon. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. It carries like that. That's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter. Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Throw on second down. Open man is Chase, complete. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down. Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. And looking to put this game on ice in the fourth quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
2nd and 10. From the gun, a give to Mixon. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. On 3rd down, Burrow. Flushed out right. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. Give him 8 yards that time on the scramble, and now 4th down. Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. They run for it with Mixon. But he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And they're going to speed things up here. Now it looks like he'll throw here. A throw for Boyd, but it's intercepted. It's Chuck Clark picking it off. And the Ravens are going to get the football back. Get their own 17. The CD. No, it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember,
looking for Watkins, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 28, and he is going to bring this back inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And, Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them. And they took advantage of it there, got a nice interception, and set up their offense in great shape.
And it's caught. Touchdown. Tyler Boyd, his first touchdown on the year. And the Bengals extend their 4th quarter lead, and they are closing in now on a 14-win campaign. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that will bump the lead up to 26. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory Not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. Looking to throw again on second down. Jackson. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. A gain of 4 last play. They double that here and get 8. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Jackson. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Brown. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in the football game. To throw again is Jackson. He'll find Dobbins out of the backfield. And what are the whistles for? Timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. Jackson on 1st down. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. Picked off by Von Bell. And the Bengals come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense it was much more the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice to watch in the second half.
So for Cincinnati, it's another win for them, and you wonder if they want a redo on that one loss as they sit now at 14-1. And they'll have another home date next week as the Kansas City Chiefs come to town. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, they're guaranteed now a sub-500 season as they fall to 6-9. And they'll have a chance at redemption next week at home against the Los Angeles Rams. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.